Hi guys, it's Mr. Piccione, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to be as productive as possible when you are practicing on your own at home. And I've just got a few ideas to share with you, and I think they'll be really helpful. And I also think that if you're really thoughtful about how you structure your practice sessions, you can get a lot done really in not that much time. So, the first idea that I wanted to share is when you're practicing, you want to be goal oriented rather than time oriented. And what I mean by that is this: when you are goal oriented with your practicing, you have maybe three or four very specific goals in mind for that practice session, three or four very specific things that you're trying to accomplish on your instrument, rather than just saying, I'm going to practice my instrument for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or whatever. So have specific goals in mind rather than just practicing for a length of time. And then you'll be more likely to actually get those goals done. The second idea is to be as specific as you possibly can when you are setting these goals. So, for example, if you were to say, I'm going to practice my region etudes, that's not a very specific goal. And you might get some things done if you practice them. But if you were to say, I'm going to practice this exact measure because it's been giving me a hard time, or I know I'm having trouble with this spot here, if you can be really specific about what you're going to do and what problems you're going to solve, then you're much, much more likely to actually solve those problems, and then you'll be much more likely to get those things done when you're practicing. And the third idea that I want to share with you, I'm going to call tone first. And the idea is whenever you pick up your instrument, whether you're doing your warm up at the beginning of the day, whether it's band rehearsal in class, or any practicing that you're doing on your own after school, the first thing that you always want to do is establish a beautiful sound on your instrument. And you want to do that in the most relaxed way possible. So you want to be minimizing any tension in your body, any tension in your embouchure, whatever that might mean for your own instrument. The reality is, if you're producing a beautiful sound on your instrument, and if you're doing it with minimal tension, so you're wanting to maximize relaxation and minimize tension, if you're doing that, you can figure out how to do anything. You can figure out how to play your region etudes, your solo and ensemble piece, your band music, whatever it is that you're working on, if you're always using a beautiful sound and doing it in the most relaxed and efficient way possible. The fourth idea I wanted to share with you is what I call the three pillars of practice. The first is tone, technique, and musicianship. And within any given practice session, it should be our goal to address all three of those things. Now, when we're performing on our instrument, we're using them all at once. We don't necessarily separate them at any given time. But when we practice, we want to make sure that we are addressing all three of those categories, because if any one of those categories is suffering, then it's going to significantly take away from our performance. So, for example, if our tone is not good, it really doesn't matter how clean your technique is, it's not going to be pleasant to listen to. And same with your technique. If your technique is sloppy, then it's going to take away from the performance as well. And then musicianship, if there's nothing going on with dynamics and vibrato and the phrasing and all that kind of stuff, then you're going to miss an opportunity to have an emotional impact on the listener. So when you're structuring your practice, make sure that you're addressing those three things: tone, technique, and musicianship. Okay? So I hope this gives you guys a couple ideas to think about when you're practicing. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time.